Hello everyone! I hope February was a triumphant month for you because it definitely was for me. I am back to blogging and YouTubing full time. I have a lot of makeup favorites to share with you because I'm finally starting to wear a full face more regularly now that my skin is healing. I did upload my Acne Skincare Heart to Heart where I showed you guys all the products that I'm using day and night, as well as answering all your other hormonal acne questions. So if you haven't seen that, please go back to last week's video and check it out. That's why in this February favorites video, I wanted to focus firstly on all the makeup that I have been wearing and loving. I'm going to start with the lipstick because most of you guys always want to know what I have on my lips. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Hot Lips in Super Cindy. It's a matte lipstick and I just forgot how much I love her formula. I'm all into these more natural, not so much of the baby peach, more of an adult My Lips but better, not too nude, not too dark kind of peach. And I find this supremely wearable. Charlotte has a great eye for color, but I do think that out of all the products she makes, that matte lipstick formula is definitely one of the best. Now we're going to talk about concealer. As you can see, I have a hormonal breakout on my cheek, and I've been playing with a little bit more coverage. I am wearing the Light Neutral All-Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer by Urban Decay. I've never really had much interest in Urban Decay's complexion products. I do still like the Naked Loose Powder. I just wish they would expand the colors a little bit more, but I think that this all-nighter concealer is probably one of the best that I've used in a while, and it reminds me a lot of the Dior Forever Undercover, which is their new concealer since they discontinued my favorite, the Star. I find that the Urban Decay all-nighter has a very similar creamy feel, except this is waterproof, so of course it's a bit thicker, it dries down faster, whereas the discontinued Dior was a little bit creamier and more fluid. I do think that the color range of this all-nighter product is pretty impressive, and I'll talk about the brushes that I use to apply my base makeup at the end of this video. Now for the new highlighter that I'm loving and wearing today, this is the Hourglass Vanish Champagne Flash Highlighter, and this is the one that I've been testing most recently, but I quite like all of them. The Bronze Flash is the one that I use most often, even though it's the darkest in the tube, just because it looks so natural on the skin, and once you blend it in, all you are left with are the bronzy pigments, and you can't really see the base color. This highlighter formula is really impressive because it's not emollient, it's not greasy or sticky, it doesn't pull away any concealer or foundation, it just sits nicely on top of powder and it dries down completely, but it looks like it would be an emollient formula because the shine is so intense. I love it. The Hourglass Vanish foundation stick doesn't work for me, but these Vanish highlighters are a completely different story. So if you have oily skin, I would apply directly from the tube, but if you have dry skin as I do, I recommend taking a clean fingertip and warming up the product from the tube and then applying it onto the tops of your cheeks as well as down the nose bridge. The warmth of the fingertip really helps the product to adhere to the skin without having to overblend. So then I just set the product down and take a clean finger and blend right along the edges so that you don't remove any of the highlighter and waste product. I look at the shimmer particles, the size, the opalescence, how it looks in the sunlight versus indoors. I'm very, very picky, but this one passes the test, and it's probably the best thing that's happened to my highlighter game since Clé de Peau's Luminizers. Now for brows, because my brows are generally a hot topic. Ever since I went from super arched to super straight, and now it's kind of rounding out as my hair grows out, I've been changing it up a little bit, and my makeup looks different and I look different because I don't wear false lashes on camera anymore because I've been getting eyelash extensions instead, but my brows again are also different. And some of you have been asking me, you've loved so many brow pencils over the years, from Clé de Peau to Surratt to Burberry, what are you using now and what is truly your favorite? My holy grail of all time will forever be the Burberry Effortless Brow Definer in black. Ever since they released it in black, this has been my go-to. It's not too dark. I always use it to carve out the shape of my tail because I like an extended brow. It makes my face look smaller. And interestingly enough, the pencil I use for the front half of my brow is by Benefit. It is their Goof Proof Brow Pencil. So this one is generally ideal for blondes or women with fairer hair. It's just that it looks really natural on my brows, which are more of a light gray. So this helps keep my face a little bit more open in the center by being lighter, slightly ombre in effect, but not so obvious. I mostly use the Benefit Brow Pencil to give me a little bit of shadow, and then I use the Burberry to create shape. On lazy days, I'll just use the Benefit by itself. If I know I'm going out and I might be taking a picture or two, I'll use the Burberry by itself just to amp up the drama a little bit. I've talked so much about skincare, pretty much talked your ear off, but this isn't exactly skincare. This is Tatcha's new The Silk Canvas. I love the concept of a balm primer, just because I do find that balms are really soothing and protective. They call this actually a protective primer, and there are many good primers on the market, but only really a few capture my attention. This, however, is what I'm wearing today under my makeup, and it works so well. You use this little disc to basically scrape a little bit of the product onto here, warm it up between your fingertips, and then apply it directly to the face. So most of the time I use this when I am trying to hide my acne scarring. So I do have little pits. They're not quite deep. There are textural imperfections, and I do have some pore issues on my forehead as well as on this cheek, especially right by the nose. So I use this primer to kind of blur those imperfections away, and it creates a more even canvas for my foundation to sit on. So I have been loving this, and I highly recommend it. I think that this primer is unique because it actually doesn't clog my pores. I really didn't expect much, but I am honestly blown away. So definitely give this a try if you are looking for a primer that's not going to irritate your skin or acne. And just so you guys are aware, I do use natural light when I'm filming. So if the exposure goes crazy or if it goes from cool to warm, it's literally because the sun is moving, and I do apologize for that, but that's nature for you. You can't control it, just like my hormones and my acne, right? So we're gonna close out this video with my Artis brushes, and a lot of you have been asking me what I've been using to apply foundation. Basically, this Oval 8 by Artis has changed the way I feel about my Chantecaille foundation and the way I apply it. So it looks so much better when I use this brush. I think that they're a match made in heaven, and no, I don't need to use a foundation brush this large, but it definitely makes things a lot easier for me, and this handle makes a huge difference because it's grippy and it prevents me from dragging it across my face. You just want to glide it gently, just so that the tips of the bristles are touching your skin. You really don't need to use a lot of pressure. Now in comparison, the brush that I'm holding here is my Fluenta. It has a black matte handle, and I love this style. I think it's great if you want to work on other people. I do think that the Fluenta series looks a little bit more professional and more sleek. Some people may like that the brush head feels a little bit more sturdy. As you can see, this one's quite thin where it connects the brush to the handle. It's all preference. I would recommend you stop by a Space NK to check them out in person and see for yourself, but I use this little Fluenta to get around the nose. When I apply concealer, I do like to make sure it's thoroughly blended around the corners of my nose and in between the eyes and the nose here. I don't use the Artis brushes to apply color makeup, just complexion products. Now the interesting thing about these Artis brushes is that you can apply skincare with them. They have this palm brush, which is much larger, but they recently launched this mini, and I actually used it today to apply my foundation, but I would highly recommend this size for skincare actually. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. And as always, thank you guys so much for your support. It just feels so good to be back, and I know I'm not the best at editing, I'm not the prettiest, I'm not the most stylish, but at the end of the day, I still hope that you guys believe that I am at least your go-to for being the most informative. Anyway, I'll stop rambling now and let you go. I hope you guys have a wonderful month in March. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.